Okay, guys, we're going to get started. Appreciate you coming on today. Today is what I would call a foundational webinar. It's meant to kind of put everyone in the right mindset, to actually be successful with social media. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on Facebook. We're going to kind of specifically focus on the personal side of Facebook. And really, we're going to go through a few key points. One, we're going to talk about just having that entrepreneurial mindset. We're going to talk about how it's hard to be successful with your business page if you're not using the personal page aggressively. We're going to talk about the self-marketing aspect of social media, which is very important. And we're going to talk about, that after all is said and done, you absolutely can keep personal, and business, business. We just want to make sure that everyone's using common sense when they're using these things. So again, as I've done the last probably 5 weeks, I'm going to just reiterate it. When in doubt with social media, always refer to the 3 C's. Using common sense, being creative, and being consistent. Anyone who's ever been successful with social media, they use those 3 concepts every time they use it. And everyone who's failed with social media, they usually do the opposite of one of these 3 things. So let's talk about the entrepreneurial side of Facebook. And I think there's always kind of what I would call, there's always kind of things that I call them roadblocks, that for whatever reason, people get these roadblocks in their mind, and it causes them to not really get to the next level. And what I'm getting at is with Facebook, there's kind of this preconceived notion out there that it's really for people gossiping and chit-chatting, and it has nothing to do with really business, and it's probably for younger people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And in the end of the day, you don't have time for it. All fair thoughts, I guess, is the best way to put it. But the way I look at it, and make no mistake, I will bluntly say this: I personally do not like Facebook. Okay, it kind of creeps me out a little bit. I'm a very private person. I'm not jumping for joy every time I'm on Facebook. On the flip side, I'm on this phone call today. I go to the office every day to make money, put money in the bank for my kids, whatever. So I do what I got to do to be successful. And one thing that I've realized is Facebook is a huge opportunity for anybody who sells something or who's a consultant. And I'm pretty confident that everyone on today's call today looks at themselves as consultants. You guys are experts in a certain field. People come to you because you're the guru. You can guide them in the right direction. So in order to be successful with what you do, you need to try. It's a numbers game. You need to get it in front of as many people as you can and project yourself to be that expert. If the numbers play out, a certain percentage of them come to you, whether it's now or later. And I guess my point is that's the whole point of Facebook. That's why it's so important for you to use. There's too many people who are addicted to it to ignore it. And I think anybody who's ever not been successful with Facebook, they never looked at it that way. Maybe they had a bad experience on there where someone said something, mean to them, or they didn't like the gossip aspect, and for whatever reason it caused a blockage in their brain, and they said, "No, I don't like this Facebook. It's too wild for me. I don't see any value in it." That's not the right way to look at it. The way I look at it is I look at it as guaranteed traffic. I know that there's 200 million Americans using it. I know that 120 of those million Americans are on it on a weekly basis. So as an entrepreneur, as a guy who wants to get traffic, I know I got to be on it, and I know I have to have a strategy. So I think moving forward today, that's the mindset you have to have. Facebook is just traffic, and people are addicted to it. And I'm an entrepreneur. How can I utilize that for myself? How can I get in front of that crowd of people? Once you start to think like that, all of a sudden you start to like Facebook really quick. And I think that becomes the foundation of being successful, having that mindset. But more importantly, you must use common sense when you're using this. You have to understand that everything you do has a cause and effect. And the guys who are really successful with it, they understand that all of their actions, they're accountable for them. And I guess where I'm going is we're going to talk a lot about the personal side of Facebook today. And you would be surprised how many people get crazy on Facebook, whether they talk, I guess I use crazy in a loose term, But I guess what I mean is, they'll go on there and they'll post something stupid about the government, or they'll post that they hate the local school board of education. Stuff that I probably agree with you on. But I guess my point is once you start to use Facebook for your business, you have to become like a politician. You don't want to get anyone mad at you. You have to. It's always about the positives. It's kind of like advertising one-on-one. When you do advertising, you never advertise anything negative, because if you do advertise negative, you get a negative reaction. Everything always needs to be positive. So once you understand and you want to commit yourself to being successful with this stuff, on the personal side of things, you got to be careful what you post. I had a client the other day. He called me up and said, "Oh, I lost a client because, I said some pretty bad things about the government." It's like, well, you know what? Why'd you say that stuff? Well, that's how I feel. Well, good. But, at the end of the day, you got to be careful, because everything you do has a potential to be good or bad. You're accountable for that stuff. I think the best thought is think of social media kind of as your office, the walls of your office. Would you put anti-government posters on your wall? Imagine if clients walked in. They would be, "Oh, my God, this guy's crazy." So you got to be careful how you project yourself. You're going to project yourself as the guru, as the expert, not as the zealot. I know a lot of you guys like to use it for that, but I think there's just a fine line you got to be careful with. So anyway, step one is to understand that there's opportunity. Step two is to understand that, okay, so there's two different pages. There's the personal page and there's the business page. All of you should now have business pages for your company. Good. In the end, you want to grow the distribution for your business page. That becomes a top priority, because when you're posting as your business, it has more weight than you posting as your personal self. It just does. It's branding. There's a lot of variables. Obviously, a lot of search engine optimization involved. But that being said, on your personal page, you can aggressively connect with people. Okay? You can build a personal distribution very easily. On the business page, you're reliant on people coming to the page and clicking the like button, right? So on the personal page, you can easily go in and click the Friends button and then hit the Find Friends button and go in and find people and hit, Add Friend and send them a request, very much like LinkedIn. But with your business page, you can only have people follow you if they physically come to the page and click the like button. So I guess my point is from a strategic standpoint, to grow the business page, it's always easier to get people connected to you personally first. Then you can message them, tell them about the value of the business page, or you can go right in and send them an invitation to follow the business page. It lets you aggressively promote it, I guess is my point. And I find that a lot of people that are struggling to get distribution on the business page usually don't have a very large personal distribution. And I think that's a mistake. I think that's a big mistake. On the flip side, there's also this thing called self-marketing. And I talked about it in the first slide. I said today we're going to talk about what self-marketing is. And basically what self-marketing is, and this is the same on LinkedIn as well, when you create a profile, right, your profile is going to show up all over Facebook, all over LinkedIn. These websites try to do a good job at saying, hey, do you know this guy? Maybe you want to connect with him. And I guess my point is that's a good thing. They're doing free marketing for you. You want to get people on your profile. You want to get them looking at what you specialize in. In the end, they're going to get funneled to your website, to your business page. So my point is, you want to get found. That's a good thing. So the next question is okay, so I want to get found. How do I get found? Well, the way you get found on Facebook and LinkedIn, I mean, it's the same thing for both, and I've stressed this for a long time, is having a complete profile. That's the key to success. So, when you get a chance later today, go to your profile and click the About button. And just try to fill out the basics. Put where you work. Put where you went to school. Put a few of your hobbies. You'll see I've kind of put my high school, my college, a few of my old jobs. You would be surprised how many people have come to me. Back when I was in high school, I used to caddy. It's the best job that there is for a 15-year-old. Anyway, I put that in there, Morris County Country Club. You would be surprised how many members have kind of come to me and found me through self-marketing and said, hey, I kind of remember you caddying. What are you doing now? Not that I've ever gotten any business out of it because obviously I have a very niche clientele, but they found me and they messaged me. And my point is that's great. That's an amazing thing. So just because this isn't some sort of 5-star job I had doesn't mean it doesn't get me in front of people who had money. And my point is go into Facebook and please complete your profile. At the bare minimum, guys, you should have where you went to school, where you grew up, and your basic hobbies. You don't have to have your home address. You don't have to have your home phone number, but at least have some of these things from your past, because those people, believe it or not, are looking. People from high school are constantly looking, oh, where are all my old classmates? Or, trust me, they will find you, and that's a good thing. It's about generating the traffic. Think of Facebook, think of LinkedIn like resumes. You've got to put a little time into it, but it's going to pay off. Once that's done, then you should go in. Now, again, that's the second step. The third step is to go into your profile and click the Friends button, and then click the Find Friends button. And once you do that, you will see some sorting things over here on the right, okay? And what you can do is you can select your hometown, you can select your high school, you can select your college. Now, you can only select these if you've listed them in your profile. That'll make them show up. So if I select my high school, it immediately, Facebook has an incredible kind of advanced sorting feature. Here are all the people from my high school. And it's going to list them in order of how many mutual connections I have. So you can see this Kim Shaw. I have 60 mutual friends with her, okay? This Tara Larkin, I have 56 mutual friends with her. So my point is it makes it easy. It immediately finds all the people you're looking for in your target market. Again, you want to send them connections if you do know them, not because those people are going to become clients, but because once you connect with those people, now you do have the ability to tap into all of their connections. It's funny. One of the funniest calls I ever got was one of this client. He was just starting to try to use Facebook, and he was so upset. Ken, my lawyer friend, my neighbor found me, and he wants to connect with me on Facebook. What should I do? What should I do? He lives right next to me. He's this lawyer. I can't stand the guy. So I said, connect with him. Why? I don't like him. Who cares? I said, you got to understand, when you connect with somebody, it means you can tap into all the people they're connected to. This guy, his neighbor, he had like 3,000 friends, and he was a real local guy. I think he used to be mayor. There was a lot of, the guy had a huge network. And once the client started to understand that, oh, okay, that's not so bad. But I guess my point is it's a big misconception. People think, again, Facebook, it's tough. I know there's a lot of misconceptions, but people think, oh, I'm friends with him on Facebook. That means I have to have a relationship with him. That means we're friends. That's not the case, guys. Don't think of it like that. You're thinking about it personally. Think like an entrepreneur. When you're quote-unquote friends with them on Facebook, now they're part of your personal distribution channel. Obviously, you want to try to get them part of your business distribution channel. The bigger your distribution, the bigger your sphere of influence. Let's go right back to the first thing I said. It's a numbers game. You're trying to acquire the numbers. So this is how you get the numbers. Forget about relationships. Forget about did you have coffee, at 8 o'clock, or are you going to the high school reunion. All that to me is that's just the fake stuff on Facebook that pulls the other people in. You're not getting pulled in. You're the entrepreneur who's going to take advantage of all these people who are addicted to this stuff. And you're going to influence them to show them you're a guru at what you do. That's it. Once you have that foundation, you're obviously going to be in a better state of mind. So the things I did to be successful, I kept my focus on Facebook. I made sure that I had a really good personal and business profile. I had those set up. Then I went in and I connected with the history of my life. I made sure I found all my old friends, my old family, clients, potential clients, high school buddies, old teammates, whatever. I connected with all of them, not because they were going to become solicited, but because I knew I could tap into the people they knew. And that's where the referrals come from, especially in the insurance industry. So that's what I did initially, and I think that becomes the key to success. So just to kind of review today, the personal page is a stepping stone to growing your business page, which we will talk about next week. But I think the importance of the personal page is, one, making sure that it's complete, it's set up correctly. Two, if you do post on it, feel free to post anything you want, but use common sense. Don't have things that are going to be held against you, right? Keep it all positive. Anyone who's ever been in advertising will tell you advertising always has to be positive. When you start to do negative advertising, you always get negative results. So just keep that in mind. Keep everything positive, and if you do that, you're going to portray positive vibes, and it will help you. Obviously, you don't really want to be posting too much business stuff on your personal page. That's the point of the business page. But you do want to aggressively use the personal page to grow a distribution, because it'll make it easier to grow your business distribution as you move forward. Plus, who knows? You may have multiple business pages. And, just to have that personal distribution, it can give you a quick start at growing a new page if you go down that avenue. So distribution is always something that takes time to grow, and it's important to, grow it as efficiently as you can. And then obviously go out there and try to connect with people, because the more people you're connected to, the more your profile is going to show up on other people's profiles, assuming it's complete. Hopefully this gave you a good mindset today, guys. I appreciate your time. Next week we got another good webinar on Facebook, and we'll go from there. Thanks again. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.